Good morning, everyone, or should I say good afternoon, or whatever it's close to. I'm kind of tired. Good morning, y'all. I'm going to speak a little bit about why we are here. My name is Malcolm Mills. I am the Vice Chairman here at DARE, Direct Action on Rights and Equality. And today we are here about the Barbara Jordan 2 complex and what Rhode Island Housing is not doing to help those that need it most. Okay, in particular, what's happening with Barbara Jordan 2 is that they brought a consulting firm in from Chicago to talk with the community and supposedly to engage with the community, to have community input about what Barbara Jordan is to look like and what Barbara Jordan is to be after rehab. As these meetings progressed, there were at least 3 or 4 of them. The plans changed 4 or 5 times. From those of you that were there at the meetings, we talked mostly about affordability, and that the folks in the area could not afford the rent that was going to be asked. The AMI is up to 80%, which means that a person could make in excess of $60,000 and be eligible for these apartments. Now, we know that most folks in this area probably clear no more than $32,000 per year. So what we tried to do was to have them go by the census tract, which will give them a better idea of the area and we know what kind of money is involved. We also wanted to, they're going to give us 34 apartments that families that were there last can have the first right of refusal. What we want is 74, all 74 apartments brought back at a low and a very low income level. We need these apartments to be affordable for those that are making, like I said, anywhere from $25,000 to $32,000 per year. Somebody making over $50,000 a year can go afford an apartment anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be down here where we're at, taking up, taking up what we can afford or what we should be able to afford. We have 57% of renters in Providence are cost burdened, meaning that we all pay over 30% of our income for rent and utilities. Now, with us doing that, there's not much money left in your pocket to do much more. Also, Providence is a majority, the majority of people in Providence rent. That's 68% of the city's residents. 80% of those folks are of low income earners, and they're all, like I said, are being cost burdened. The projection for the next 10 years for needing of homes is 34,000, and we need to have at least 27,000 of those to be for low income folks, and they need to be multi-family and affordable to families making, like I said, less than $40,000. And they need to be long-term, 30 years or better. Now, we went to a board meeting at Rhode Island Housing, and there we had some proposals that we had gotten from the Tenant and Homeowners Committee, and we took some ideas from those meetings that we attended. We here at DARE made a few proposals to Rhode Island Housing that would benefit low-income residents of the area. Number 1, ensuring that at least all 74 units be affordable to low and very low income residents making less than $32,000, $25,000 a year, which make up 56% of the residents in what they call Upper South Providence. When folks start talking about changing the name of places, you know, they want to move the folks that are there out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never known this to be Upper South Providence. What's it been? All South Providence, period. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we also asked that the Providence-based women and minority-owned contractors get most of the work that's being done here. Residents, especially those residents from census tract with high unemployment, you know, should be able to secure all of the work involved in the construction project. Number 3, that the apartments and land remain affordable for long-term, more than 30 years, that tenants in the future, or more than 30 years, and that tenants in the future homes have decision-making power by way of a union or board representation, and through tenant cooperative have wealth-generating ownership opportunities. Last but not least, we also ask for at least three neighborhood residents holding decision-making positions on the committee that decides and considers and selects the developer that wins the application. Now, when Rhode Island Housing answered us, this is what they said. As far as the RFP, request for proposal, that's what that means. They said that they would create a preservation of a minimum of 74 apartments that are affordable to residents earning 80%. Like I said, that goes back up to folks making above $60,000 or less, area median income. Additionally, scoring will be prioritized for the creation of apartments serving a much lower percentage. Well, we know that if given a choice, developers are going to go for the highest amount of money that they can get. So that's a lie. They don't want to do this. Okay, and so Rhode Island Housing will require 10% be awarded to minority businesses and women businesses for the project, and will work to increase the level of contractor participation in the redevelopment. Now we know 10% is what? Nothing. They're throwing us a bone, so to speak, and not a very big bone. And then in addition to when we asked for, you know, to have 3 people on their selection committee, and here's the answer that we got. In addition to the staff from Rhode Island Housing, the review committee will comprise of representatives from the following funding organizations: the City of Providence, the Providence Housing Authority, the Housing Resource Committee, RILISC, whatever that is, and a former senior executive of Enterprise Community Investment with extensive community development experience. Did anybody hear me say anything about anybody coming from the community? Nope. Did anybody hear me say anything about any of the housing organizations being on this committee? Nope. There's your answer. They lie, they cheat, they steal, and if we don't keep making noise, they're gonna keep on doing it. That's why we're here today. Thank you very much.